Good morning, everyone. My name is Kacie Clark, and my lesson is over coordinate systems. So this is a fifth grade math lesson that is directly aligned to the TEAC 5.8b, which requires students to describe the process for graphing ordered pairs in the first quadrant of the coordinate plane. This lesson integrates direct instruction, visual support through an anchor chart, and hands-on application. This is just to ensure that they both develop conceptual understanding and procedural understanding. I believe that teaching is student-centered and that every student has the capability to learn no matter what they look like, where they come from, or any academic barriers that they may face. To engage my students, I will start with having 3 examples of ordered pairs on the board. I will have a life-size graph on the floor made out of butcher paper and masking tape, and the students will be responsible for standing on the spot where they believe the ordered pair belongs. After that, I will then introduce the objective, which is the student will be able to graph ordered pairs in the first quadrant of the coordinate plane. After I introduce the objective and the topic, I will then begin to explain this anchor chart right here. This will be posted on the boards, and I will go over all the academic vocabulary and, most importantly, how to graph an ordered pair on the graph. After I explain that, I will then ask follow-up questions like, does everybody understand? Do we have any questions? If not, we will then move on to our next activity for the exploration. Now, through this, I'll use my favorite inclusive tool, which is collaborative grouping. My students will be grouped off into fours whilst they use the ordered pairs that are listed below to then graph the point to reveal the mystery image, which will then be a rocket ship. This is important for my students who learn interpersonally, also for those who may struggle a little bit, having them paired with those who are a little bit advanced. And then also for my ELL learners, this is also beneficial for them because not only are they learning how to graph ordered pairs, but they're learning to use the English verbiage more because they're having conversation with their peers. For my students who have learning disabilities, I will have them at a small group table with me. Instead of putting them with their other peers, because I don't want them to become frustrated because they're not keeping up, or make them feel discouraged because they're not learning the way another student learns. And then we will work together to complete the activity. To conclude the whole entire lesson, I will then basically ask some follow-up questions or like, what image was revealed? How do we graph an ordered pair? Asking them the definitions of certain academic vocabulary. And this is just to check for their understanding to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to grasp and have that 95% mastery that is within my objective. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, they'll be able to know how to graph an ordered pair with 95% mastery. This lesson accommodates visual learners, intrapersonal learners, bodily kinesthetic learners. With collaborative grouping, we have that social interaction and they're able to learn furthermore from that, especially my ELL learners. So that is how we make this lesson diverse and inclusive. To evaluate my students, I will be evaluating them through the process of them completing the worksheet. And so I am taking the non-traditional route because all of my students are not held to the same standard. So when I'm evaluating, it's only fair that I assess them in a way that is fit for them. So making sure that my lessons are developmentally appropriate and also modified to meet the accommodations of anybody who has a learning disability. I will also during this observation process, it's best so that it takes away that test anxiety and also any other outside pressures that may come along with knowing that I have to take a test. So with this, I do believe that teaching should be student-centered. I believe that everyone has the capability to learn no matter where they come from, like I said in the beginning, and that is why I included so many different learning styles and not just one generic way, because I need to teach my students in a way that they learn best, because it's a disservice and a waste of time for them to come to school and me teaching them the way that I learn when I'm not them. They're not going to grasp the same information how I grasp it. And so that's why I hold firm to that, because teaching is for the students and every lesson is for the students. Being in school, it entails much deeper levels than just the content being taught. My hope is that through the lesson, they're encouraged that I can learn these things no matter what I face, no matter what my math background is, no matter what my home life is like, no matter what I look like, I can learn. And my hope is that through the lesson and through just being in Miss Clark's classroom, they are encouraged. They are encouraged to know that once I get in that classroom, once that door is shut, that's my classroom. And that's where I'm going to be able to invest into the students and just be at service to them and teach them in the way in which they learn best. And so, yes, that concludes my final presentation. Thank you.